In an effort to promote and expand the availability of special crops available in our region, the City of South Sioux City, in partnership with the University of Nebraska Extension Office and the South Sioux City Public Library, have added a community orchard to our existing community garden. The goal of this orchard is to educate the public on the skills of growing, caring for, and marketing fresh, locally grown fruits.
My name's Gene Maffett. I'm South Sioux City Parks Director, and we've been working on a neat project in the last few years. It's called the Orchard Project in South Sioux. It's a community orchard for everybody in the community. The neat part about it is really kind of the history of it. The history of the orchard starts actually is kind of tied to the community garden project, which we started in '09. It was then in the '09 season that the gardeners were actually asking me about fruits that they could, harvest from trees in the city. Without there being a lot of them in the city that I knew of, we decided then to start looking for grants and funding for doing some kind of an orchard, or maybe just planting trees in the parks that would produce fruit. Over the years we looked around, and it was Tammy Bailey who actually found a grant. It was a specialty crop grant, and we filed for that and got that in 2013, I believe it was. We went on from there and planted the orchard in 2014. So the orchard's actually been in about a year and a half or 2 years. We have put pollinator gardens in the orchard now too, and we have started planting bushes that'll bear fruit. We're looking actually into doing a lot of other different, like strawberries and different kind of berries that we can plant in there too. So that'll all come in a short period of time. But the orchard now is still kind of in its infancy, so it's not bearing anything at this point. But it is bearing a lot of work for the different agencies, and a lot of the volunteers actually do a lot of the work. Although the city crews do get to do some of the work, over the years they have been the ones that have been watering it and caring for it. By the end of the month, I hope to have a sprinkler system installed. But the pruning and a lot of that work has actually been done by master gardeners who's volunteered to do it. And then, of course, Carol Larvick with the County Extension Service. She also has been a great help in this project. So we've gotten great support from a lot of different entities, the state forestry people, also a lot of the city help through the mowing of the property and the maintaining of the property. The city donating the property for the orchard was a huge one. These were all things that we overcame and got it all done. So we wound up with a nice little community orchard. And I think in the next few years, you'll see it start producing fruit, and I think people will really start getting excited about it then.
My name is Carol Larvick, and I work for the University of Nebraska Extension here in Dakota County, and I'm excited to be a part of the orchard out in South Sioux City. When they first approached us, they said, we've got this great idea for this orchard and we're going to get some money, and would the university provide some education, and we were excited to be able to do that. We've brought in a local forester that works for the Nebraska Forest Service. We've brought in the University of Nebraska with a specialist that actually works with orchards. We've brought in some community people and the city to be able to work together on the orchard project. We provided a couple years of education, and we started with, how do you plant an orchard? What kind of site do you pick? What kind of ground do you need? When you pick what kind of fruit you want, how tall do you want that tree to be? It's hard to have an apple tree that's 25 feet tall because you can't reach those apples at the top. There's over 1,000 varieties, and so which kind do you want? For taste or cooking. The classes that we had for the orchard really were to help people that were interested in growing their own trees. Whether they just wanted them in their backyard, or maybe they wanted to start their own orchard. And so we had a variety of people come. We're excited that we had people of many cultures. We've had a couple people that have actually started some trees in their yard, and maybe in a year or two they'll look at actually producing trees and selling them either at a farmer's market or maybe producing beyond that. We're pretty excited about being able to offer that to the community and have them come and participate in the education and take that one step further.
I'm Ron McCumber. Basically, I have grown up with apples, and that's where my volunteering has started in South Sioux, at least. I have taken a master gardener class And basically what that is the state of Nebraska has these classes that you learn how to deal with the public as far as working with gardening in general. I've been retired for several years, and so I figured, that might be something to get into. When I went to this Master Gardener class, they talked about, the city has this orchard, and I thought, geez, that sounds kind of neat. So I jumped at the chance to help out with the thing. They had just started it. My dad, when I grew up, was grafting things to apple trees and pear trees and things of that sort, and so I said, it sounds interesting. So last spring I took another class on grafting and made 4 trees that I grafted myself, and then I planted them out in my yard. I just basically have gotten into the idea of working with the orchard program simply because it helps the community. I get to learn more things, and that just continues my education on helping the community and helping myself learn more about sciences. And other parts of the orchard itself, they've got various gardens that try to attract bees and things of this sort. They've put together the corner gardens that attract the bees. And of course that helps with the trees later on when we actually get apples. Probably it'll be in another 2 or 3 years that we'll actually have apples growing. I think, anytime you're living in a community, you've got to do things with the community, and that's what I feel I'm doing with the orchard a certain amount. I'm giving back a certain amount of things that the whole community can use. It benefits me because I learn things, and hopefully it benefits the community because they're going to get something out of this as far as being able to go out and pick apples. Grade schoolers are going to be able to go out there in the garden and actually see how the orchard is managed. They'll actually probably pick their own apples and have something for lunchtime.
Hello, my name's Dave Mixdorf. I'm the director of South Sioux City Public Library, and we're part of the group that helps with the community orchard. This all kind of started about 5-6 years ago with the community garden, and we were one of the groups that actually got that movement going. And we taught classes back at that time for brand new gardeners, taught it in English and Spanish. And so kind of out of that slowly grew the opportunity to put in an orchard. And so with us in the Dakota County Extension, we actually created classes that we could do. Some of the classes that we developed were pest management, pruning, brambles and grapes, and other types of fruits. And now they actually have other types of fruits besides orchard type trees that are growing out there. We do grafting classes, and that turned out to be extremely popular. Seed Savers Exchange from Decorah, Iowa came over, and everybody at the end walked away with 3 grafted apple trees that they were able to create. We've also developed food preservation classes, canning classes, freezing classes, things like that. Just this week we did a class on canning jams and jellies. So there's kind of a wide variety of different courses that we've started out of the orchard class. And then we've added books into our collection too. One of the books that we added is the Grafter's Handbook, which is kind of considered the Bible for fruit tree grafting. This has been around for generations now. Some of the other books that we have is The Apple Grower and the Holistic Orchard by Michael Phillips. Another book that we have in our collection is Apples in North America. It has the common apples that most everybody knows from the grocery store, but also it has what they call antique apples, apples that your grandparents and great-grandparents might have had. Another book that we have in our collection is The Grape Grower. We've been slowly adding more and more of these books into our collection, and so anybody that's interested can come to the library, get a library card, and check out the items. And like I said, we did canning classes. This is pineapple preserves So there's a wide variety that we try to do here at the library that works in coordination with the orchard and the group that's working with the orchard right now. One nice benefit of this orchard is it helps with a program that we developed called Voices for Food, and it's several area organizations and churches that are collecting food for people that need the food. We have several locations where people can donate fresh produce once we start producing a lot. That's going to be an opportunity for volunteers to come in, help pick, and get the food out to the people that need it. So if you're interested in any of this type of stuff, I'd invite you to stop into the South Sioux City Public Library. We're located at 2121 Dakota Avenue, 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on Friday and Saturday we are open from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m.
Come and see our new community orchard located in South Sioux City on East 17th Street near Riverview Drive. It's our vision that through this project, not only will a new crop of farming entrepreneurs emerge, but also a wide variety of healthy, fresh, locally grown fruits will be made available to the residents of our community. For more information on our new community orchard, visit us online at southsiouxcity.org.